In my younger and more vulnerable years, my father gave me some advice that I've been turning over in my mind ever since. Whenever you feel like criticizing anyone, he told me, just remember that all the people in this world haven't had the advantages you've had. While reserving judgments is a matter of infinite hope, I've come to admit that my tolerance of human behavior has its limits. Gatsby, the man who gives his name to this story, represented everything for which I have an unaffected scorn. And yet there was something gorgeous about him. Some heightened sensitivity to the promises of life, a romantic readiness such as I have never found in any other person, and which it is not likely I shall ever find again. Gatsby turned out all right in the end. It's what preyed on him that gives rise to this story. The foul dust that poisoned his dream in the summer of 1922. After the war, I returned home restless and decided to go east and learn the bond business. I rented a house in one of the strangest communities in North America. 20 miles from New York City, a pair of enormous eggs jut out in the Long Island Sound. I lived in the less fashionable West Egg. Across the bay, millionaires tucked themselves away in hidden palaces. But visible to me on that first day was a distant, mysterious figure on one side and a green light flickering on the other. The history of that summer really begins when I drove across the bay to the more fashionable East Egg to have dinner with the Buchanans. Daisy was my second cousin once removed, and I'd known Tom in college. His family was enormously wealthy, and he'd been one of the most powerful ends that ever played football at Yale. He and Daisy had spent a year in France drifting aimlessly among the rich. This was to be a permanent move, Daisy told me over the telephone. But I didn't believe her.
Nick! Oh, I'm paralyzed with happiness. Say hello to Jordan Baker. She's from Louisville. Our girlhood was spent there together. Jordan, say hello to Nick. He lives in West Egg. So how are things in Chicago? Do they miss me?
There's a persistent wail of mourning all along the North Shore.
Oh, how gorgeous. Let's go back, Tom, tomorrow. You ought to see the baby.
I'd like to.
What you doing, Nick?
Bonds. I'm with Sutcliffe James.
Never heard of them.
You live in West Egg? Been to parties there.
I don't know a soul.
You must have heard of Gatsby's parties.
Gatsby? What Gatsby?
Where's the little one? I suppose she talks and eats and everything.
The nanny put her down. But that just gives you an excuse to come back another time. Do you always watch for the longest day of the year and then miss it? I always watch for the longest day and then miss it.
We ought to plan something.
All right. What do we plan? What do people plan? Oh, look. I heard it. Tom did it. Oh, you did do it, even though you didn't mean to. That's what I get for marrying a brute like you. A great, big, hulking physical specimen of a man.
I hate the word hulking. Even in kidding.
Hulking.
You're from the Midwest. Can't you distract us with insights about crops?
You want insight? Civilization's going to pieces. Have you read The Rise of the Colored Empires by this man, Goddard?
No.
We've got to beat them down.
The idea is, we're Nordics. We've produced all the things that go to make civilization. Art, science, things like that. Yet we're in danger of being submerged. It's depressing.
Telephone from New York, sir.
Excuse me.
I'll be going up to my room soon.
Jordan is going to play in a golf tournament tomorrow in Westchester.
Oh, that Jordan Baker.
You two are going to have to come over here every weekend so that I can fling you together. Excuse me. Please get off the phone. Tom, who is that?
None of your business.
What do you mean?
I said it's
Something happening?
Tom's got some woman in New York. I thought everyone knew. Are you surprised?
Actually, I'm more surprised that he was depressed by a book.
She might have the decency not to call it dinner time.
I'm having a private conversation on the phone.
Right now, get off! Couldn't be helped. I looked outdoors for a minute, and it's very romantic outdoors. There's a bird on the lawn who I think might be a nightingale come over on the Cunard or the White Star Line. He's just singing away. Isn't that romantic, Tom?
Yeah.
We don't know each other very well, Nick. You didn't come to my wedding.
I wasn't back from the war.
That's true. Well, I've had a very bad time, Nick, and I'm pretty cynical about everything. Everything's terrible anyhow. Everybody thinks so. Most advanced people. And I know. I've been everywhere and seen everything and done everything. Sophisticated. God, I'm so sophisticated.
I've got an idea. I thought you and I could hit the town together Sunday, Nick.
Oh, well, you know, I've really got a lot...
2 o'clock. I'll come get you.
About halfway between West Egg and New York, the motor road moves beside the railroad and is bounded on the other side by a small, foul river. This is a valley of ashes. Brooding over the solemn dumping ground are the eyes of Dr. T.J. Eckelberg. Eyes once hopeful of fattening the practice of some nearby optician, now dimmed by many paintless days under the sun and rain.
Come on. I want you to meet my girl. Wilson, how's business?
Can't complain, Mr. Buchanan. When are you going to sell me that car?
Next week. I got my man working on it.
He works pretty slow.
If you feel that way, maybe I better sell it somewhere else.
No, that's not what I meant.
Get some chairs.
It's a terrible place. Plus, we're good to get away.
Doesn't her husband object?
Wilson? He doesn't know he's alive. Thinks she goes to New York to see her sister. There she is. Myrtle, say hi to Nick.